Hi guys, hope you're doing good. This is just kind of a quick video. I want to keep this short for once. A little update on a couple of cars I got. So obviously, title of the video is fairly obvious what we're looking at here. We've got a Losi 8E conversion. So it's the truggy, of course. It's not the buggy. It's a truggy. So basically, I got that as a roller, and I've put in the Poseidon 2200 kV motor and a Max 8 ESC, which is just there. So I'm going for 6S with this. I've got the Savox 1256 titanium gear in there as well, and some Panther, what are they called? Panther, but I can't remember what these are called, but anyway, Panther Tires, which I got off a mate. Basically, they look pretty good for this kind of thing. They're the kind of bashing I like to do. They're not a race tire, obviously, but they're kind of quite heavily treaded. So I'm hoping that they'll work well with that. I did also get these with it, which I've never ever seen before, but I've always been a bit of a liker of sand paddles, but I've never had any. These are Losi sand wedges, which I've never ever seen or heard of before. But yeah, hoping to get to use those at some point on the beach. I've done a few beach videos before with my cars, which and I really like running on the beach. Although the cleanup, of course, is a nightmare. The other thing I picked up, which is maybe more, well, it's a bigger thing for me, really, I guess, is the XMAXX V2. So I picked this up on Sunday. I drove all the way up to Birmingham to get it, and it's a used V2. I've had to fiddle about a little bit with the body just to wash it up, because it was a little bit ripped up, to be honest, and it's got a little bit of damage to it, body scratches and bits and bobs. But basically, very, batteries too. These are huge. I mean, I don't know if you've ever held these before or seen a 4S pack like this, but these Traxxas 4S packs, they're massive. But anyway, 2 of those and a charger, and of course that's the usual controller from Traxxas. So differences to the V1 are basically wheelie bar, the rear body protector, which has been used a fair bit here. Apparently the tyres are slightly different compound. There's a different paint scheme, slightly different paint scheme. And it's the drivetrain, really. Well, it's the 8S setup, of course, as well. It's got the 8S setup. One thing I love about this is this system. I think it's brilliant myself. I love that. Yeah, is the motor system. So it's got a fan on it as standard, and it's got this VLX 8S ESC. Sorry, VXL 8S, not VLX. VXL 8S ESC, which I've heard, again, typical Traxxas maybe, is kind of not the best, but we'll see. And of course, the difference is the drivetrain with a centre diff, cush drive, and a few bits are different. The stub axles are slightly different, and a few other bits like that. So the only things I've done to it is, when I got it home, I did notice that this rear bumper mount was cracked. So I've used some glue on that, or JB Weld, I think it was, on that. And I've bought the RPM rear bumper mount and also the RPM front bumper mount. Now, for some reason I thought the RPM bumper mount would get rid of this piece as well, but it doesn't, of course. So anyway, so I've still got that. So I bought that because of that crack, but there you go. So yeah, interested to use this, excited to use this. Love the way the body goes on. That's one of my favourite things. I mean, no body clips and all that. And I'm hoping to run this kind of alongside some of the fifth scales. It's an 8S RTR electric monster truck. So, for me, 8S is a new place to be. I did try 8S very briefly in my V1 XMAXX, but it wasn't something you could use for long. It would overheat and stuff. I only ever did it once, I think. So yeah. It was fine, but I did it for like 5 minutes or less. So I would think it would overheat. So basically, that's about the size of it. Just to give you a little bit of background, I bought my V1 XMAXX for $650 when it first came out from Model Sport. I then sold it after a year for $600 with a few little spares, nothing major though. stock electronics and stuff. I did put a Max 5 ESC in it, but I took that out. I've still got that. And now I've bought this V2 XMAXX used for £520. That's with these 2 lipos and a charger. So to be fair, I mean, I kind of was a bit lucky there, I guess, with my kind of timings, but I sold the V1 at the right time when basically you only had a choice of the odd V1 or paying £900 for a new V2, because there were no used V2s then. And now I've bought a V2 after a few months when there's a few people buying them and either not getting on with them or selling them relatively quickly because they don't like them or whatever. So I've managed to get quite a cheap V2. So that's why I went all the way to Birmingham to get the thing, because of course that took me 2 hours. 4 hours one evening was quite a task. But anyway, so yeah, couple of new rigs to try, videos to come soon as usual. The Losi 8TE Truggy, which is going to be 6S basically, and the XMAXX on 8S. Alright guys, so good to talk to you. Catch you next time. Take it easy.